Hello and welcome to No Time to Quest. My name is Jay and this is going to be a very brief video because details are thin on the ground, but Amazon Game Studios look like they're making a sci-fi MMO. Now obviously we've got New World on the horizon probably next year, and then some point behind that we have the Lord of the Rings MMO that they're apparently working on. And now we've got details of a sci-fi. Now, it's interesting because Amazon obviously making a strong push into gaming, full stop, and they have spotted the MMO genre of their choice, which is interesting. So let's talk about where we know and how we know. I just realised I'm looking at the wrong thing. So let's have a look at this. Yeah, so I almost posted the other day when I saw this because John Smedley had put a link to some posts of jobs for Amazon Game Studios. Now, at that point, I don't think it actually said what it was for, but I was tempted to say, like, oh, well, John Smedley, they've got a reputation of making MMOs. Is this potentially another one? And I was like, no, it's a bit of speculation. That could literally have been anything. But then apparently one of them says there's a narrative design position that actually says the designer will work with our creative director to tell gripping tales of a brand new sci-fi world. And that sort of, sounds like it says cinematics for Amazon's new massively multiplayer game. I mean, there you have it. It's soft confirmed. We don't know anything beyond that, but it looks like, for all intents and purposes, unless something goes wrong. Now, it might not be an MMORPG, but it says massively multiplayer game. You're like, it could be something like Destiny 2, something like that. But I mean, that's confirmation enough, isn't it? Basically, that they're working on a project, and that project is an MMO, massive online multiplayer game, whatever you want to call it. It's interesting enough just with that details, and that'll put them onto 3 MMOs that we know about. New World, I think New World, obviously there's been a lot of hype and stuff like that recently since it had its preview event, was pretty, it had mixed reviews, basically. I know it's not even out yet, so reviews is perhaps the wrong phrase, but people reacted in mixed ways. But I think there's a lot there to be optimistic for. Like, the world and the graphics and stuff like that look very nice. I think the combat, some people liked it, some people felt it was a bit faulty, maybe needed more abilities and stuff like that. If we just say we know what New World is going to be, Amazon's going to do New World, it's probably going to be what it is now but slightly improved. Okay, that's fine. Then we'll really have to see how that progresses, and maybe for Lord of the Rings with a big IP like that could be very interesting and possibly incredible. So we'll have to wait and see. Then obviously if they do a sci-fi world, I'm a little bit surprised that they say new sci-fi world. I would have expected maybe to go with an IP that already exists. Obviously not Star Wars, because relatively we've got the Old Republic and stuff like that, so I don't know if Star Wars would be available, but I would sort of expect Amazon to maybe buy IPs just to boost interest, but maybe they're confident enough with their own creation. But we'll have to wait and see. That's it. As details were thin on the ground. It is just an announcement that, well, it's not even an announcement, it's a sort of semi-leaking that Amazon Game Studios are probably making a sci-fi MMO. And if you go with Lord of the Rings being the fantasy MMO, I mean, interesting times for the MMO genre. I personally feel like it feels like we're maybe getting a little bit of a renaissance. Maybe that's one of the reasons I started the channel, because I was feeling it, and I've always been interested in MMOs, obviously, but maybe it just feels like there's things are happening, and the Amazon MMO possibly happening could be interesting. So that was that. Have a beautiful day. Like and subscribe if you want to keep up to news and stuff like that. Yeah. Goodbye.